Adult Swim's hit animated series Rick and Morty is chock full of sophisticated ideas, vulgar weirdness, and, well,
high-concept sci-fi rigmarole,
which makes it one of the twistiest and time-bendiest shows on television, fostering hundreds of ideas about the show's alleged secrets. Some far stranger than others. Hold on to your brain buckets and try to keep up with these seriously bizarre Rick and Morty fan theories. Not the real Morty. Let's start off by flipping your whole world upside down and saying that the Morty Smith we've been watching lately isn't the Morty we started off with. This notion is part of a larger Rick and Morty master theory, which postulates that Rick's original Morty got trapped inside one universe, a tragedy scene during the opening credits of each episode, when Morty falls over and is almost eaten by giant frog creatures. Left to fend for himself in a world of monsters, this Morty grows to resent Rick and orchestrates the events seen in close Rick counters of the Rick kind, in order to take down all Ricks in all universes. We see something like that happen in the Season 3 episode The Ricklantis Mix-Up, in which politician Morty becomes president of the Citadel of Ricks. Sick with power, President Morty assassinates a number of members of the Shadow Council of Ricks, and in a slow-motion sequence of legal documents and floating corpses, it's revealed that he's none other than Evil Morty. With how often Rick calls Morty disposable, we may have called dozens of Mortys our own by now.
Most timelines have a Rick, and most Ricks have a Morty. This place is a real who's who of who's you and me.
And honestly, is there that much difference between one Morty and another?
We both know that if there's any truth in the universe, it's that Ricks don't care about Mortys.
Not the real Rick. Beyond our Morty not being true blue, our Rick might be an alternate version as well. One theory is that Rick ended his life when Beth was a child, explaining why he was missing from her life for 20 years. The Rick that viewers know now would have been alive in a different dimension, separated from Beth and his ex-wife. Unfortunately, this Rick royally flubbed up his timeline and needed a quick remedy. Discovering a universe in which a version of himself was dead, our Rick jumped into that timeline, and the rest is history. We've even seen something like that happen in the series, so any Rick is possible. And if this Rick's been gone for 20 years, how can there be a picture of him holding baby Morty, who's only a teenager now? And how can he actually remember holding Morty? Plot hole or secret hint that things are even more messed up than we know? The universe switch. It's time to unpack the Rick and Morty theory known as the Ticket Theory, which connects the episodes Morty Night Run and Total Recall to suggest that the latter episode is happening in a universe that isn't the one our usual Rick and Morty operates in. According to the theory, the universe swap happened when Rick and Morty picked Jerry up from the Jerry Beret.
Hey, wait, do you have 5126? I'm not sure. Morty. Jerry, get out of here. That's a Blitz and Shits ticket. What? Way to go, Morty. Whatever.
The shocker here is that the ticket Rick and Morty are given at the beginning of Morty Night Run is numbered 5126, but they took home a different Jerry.
Hang on to this. That number's your dad. If you lose it, we're not gonna be able to get him back.
The audience actually follows the original Jerry into his new universe and leaves the original Rick and Morty behind. How else would you explain the arrival of Mr. Poopy Butthole a few episodes later, who's treated as though he's been there all along, at least as far as this universe is concerned?
Ooh-wee! Amen to that!
One and the same. Rick and Morty share a number of similar qualities, and even the same voice actor, but they can't actually be the same person, can they? According to one theory, they 100% totally are. As Rick and Morty are walking through the Citadel, you can spot what appears to be a combination of the pair in the same physical body. While he could be an odd alternate dimension Rick Morty, the theory suggests that he's actually an older Morty and a younger Rick. As far as the blue pants go, it's pretty simple.
Is that me? I used to wear blue pants.
Lastly, there might be a surprising link between Diane Sanchez, Rick's ex-wife, and the staff member of Anatomy Park, Annie. Both ladies look surprisingly similar. Annie grew close to Morty during their adventure together, but Rick ended up shrinking her and trapping her in a container.
Hey, what the hell, Rick? What the hell? Man, I liked her!
The theory hints that Morty, now as Rick, freed Annie later in life so they could be together. Baby Cronin Morty. The creepy, oozy Cronenberg creature from Autoerotic Assimilation was a standout, even compared to the giant praying mantises and deformed beasts that ravaged the Earth in Rick Potion number 9. But the pint-sized monster could hold a harrowing significance if you consider this next theory. The only time Rick and Morty viewers have ever seen Rick genuinely connected to anyone has been with baby Morty.
You're crying? Over a Morty? No, I'm just allergic to dip. Ugh, pathetic.
This makes it all the more heartbreaking to speculate that the Cronenberg creature from the episode is actually a baby Morty from a different dimension. Though the moment is passed off as Rick trying to test his invention, this theory suggests that he obliterated the baby Cronenberg, who he actually shows affection for as part of a contingency plan. In another universe that got Cronenberged, baby Morty became a victim of the Cronenberg plague, so Rick put him in stasis until he could find a cure. Rick's final act of mercy was to euthanize the Cronenberg Morty, as the only cure was to kill it. After all, the problem got so bad that Rick had to abandon an entire planet because he couldn't or wouldn't fix it. Beth's real mother. Mum's the word for this theory, which argues that Beth's mother is actually the hive mind entity, Unity, seen in the Season 2 episode Autoerotic Assimilation. What if Rick's previous fling with Unity led to one of the entity's hosts, an Earth-like humanoid, getting pregnant? Unity eventually left Rick, but not before separating from the pregnant host that would become Beth's mother, which makes for a really weird situation to raise a child in, seeing as how Beth's mother wasn't in control of her body when she met Rick or conceived a kid with him. The theory supposes that Beth's real mother, now in control of her own body, would force Rick to leave so she could bring up Beth by herself.
I don't know if you can appreciate what it means to grow up without a father.
Unity, being Beth's real mother, would also explain why it was so protective of Morty and Summer when they visited its planet. Treating them to endless hamburgers and sending in a special force team to rescue them wasn't just because they're Rick's grandchildren. It was out of a deeper maternal instinct to keep them out of harm's way. Thanks, Grandma. Rick's self-awareness. The idea that Rick knows he's part of a television show is one that has long circulated throughout the Rick and Morty fan community. But does Rick's self-awareness go deeper than simply acknowledging his two-dimensional existence? Think about it. Rick understands that the only reason he's alive is because of a creator, Dan Harmon, to be exact. This notion grounds itself in the photo seen hanging on Rick's wall, which is a drawing of Harmon, or maybe it's just a picture of Abradolf Linkler, but only the smartest man in the universe would have a legit pic of God, right? That is, if he's not in total denial.
There is no God, Summer. You gotta rip that band-aid off now. You'll thank me later.
The theory also explains why Rick drinks almost constantly and easily breaks the fourth wall.
See you next week, everybody!
Don't get it.
As a man of science, Rick turns to alcohol because he's unable to reconcile with there being an actual God. He knows he's being watched and understands that once people stop tuning in to Rick and Morty, his world is destroyed forever. Keeping the series alive is the only way to keep himself alive.
Me and Rick and Morty running around in Rick and Morty time. All day long, forever. 100 days. Rick and Morty forever, 100 times.
There's something about Trisha. To Summer Smith, her classmate Trisha Lang is little more than her shiny brunette locks and nice body. But she may be far more mysterious than she lets on. What if Trisha is actually a Galactic Federation agent, just like Summer's old pal Tammy, sent to Dimension C-137 to spy on Rick to gain new intel after the falling out and betrayal that took place at the end of Season 2?
In a lot of ways, what I really am is a deep cover agent for the Galactic Federation, and you guys are a group of wanted criminals.
Knowing that they can no longer spy on the Sanchez-Smith family by befriending those close to Rick, the Galactic Federation instructed Trisha to spend time with Summer's boyfriend Ethan and become best friends with Morty's crush Jessica, allowing her to gather information without seeming suspicious. The theory notes that Trisha's vulgar language is exactly how Tammy spoke when she was working undercover, and though the theory doesn't mention this, it might be worth noting that Tammy and Trisha are voiced by the same person. Rick's real plan. Another popular Rick and Morty theory postulates that in the Season 3 finale, Rick intended to kill Morty, not Jerry. The theory points to a particular moment in the episode that happens just after Morty steals Rick's portal gun and takes Beth, Summer, and Jerry to a secluded cabin to hide from Rick while he trashes the White House. Though Morty believed his hiding spot to be unguessable by Rick, he ends up at the cabin's doorstep, gun in hand, to greet everyone. Beth, worried that she's actually a clone of herself, guesses that Rick brought the gun to end her life. Rick quickly clarifies.
Beth, you crazy bitch, you're my daughter. I brought this here to kill Jerry.
Jesus Christ!
This was just a cover-up for his true intentions. The real threat isn't Jerry, but rather a Morty with his own portal gun. Or even worse, an evil Morty with a portal gun. Especially since Morty's been getting smarter and smarter as the seasons progress. When Rick sees the family is fine, he just shifts his anger towards Jerry. Because, really, he's Jerry.
So take your attitude to the men's section of Kmart, because you need to cut me some slack.
Too weird for words. And then there are the fan theories that are just too bizarre or too unlikely to ever be considered canonical. For example, there's the insane idea that Rick's real ex-wife might be, get this, Miss Frizzle from the Magic School Bus series, based on the idea that both fictional characters explore the weirdest areas of space and the human body. Okay.
Those people. This whole thing, Ethan.
And what about the idea that Rick purposely abandoned his daughter to cause her to act recklessly, get pregnant at a young age, ruin her life, and pop out a couple of brainwave jamming kids? Sure, except Rick could probably just clone or kidnap whatever kind of Morty he wanted, because he's Rick. Fidget spinners? In one half-baked theory, they're just this reality's version of the Google box. And ice cream? It's basically the Rick and Morty version of the answer to every question in the universe because, well, they talk about it a lot.
Well, why don't I get Beth and we'll go out for ice cream? Jerry, this was the most romantic weekend I've ever had.
Thanks to Cold Stone Creamery.
I was gonna hop over to the Gloppy Drop system, get some ice cream. Fun facts about this one. It's got giant telepathic spiders, 11 9/11s, and the best ice cream in the multiverse!
Whoa! And Galactic Federation agent Tammy, in one bonkers theory, she's actually Rick's long-lost dimension-hopping granddaughter, based almost exclusively on the fact that Tammy has a similar hair color to Jerry. Whoever came up with this one, well...
In reality, you're as dumb as they come.
Pretty dumb.
You know what? Oh, too bad!
Thanks for watching. Click the looper icon to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Plus, check out all this cool stuff we know you'll love too.